The core of the internet's present total collapse is a leak so controversial that it has the potential to alter the trajectory of one of the biggest hip-hop feuds. We are talking about 50 Cent, the Tiny King, and Zonnique Pullins. As enigmatic, videos and leaked images have been circulating on TikTok and Twitter for weeks. Fans have been asking, is this a calculated attack or a devastating mistake? However, Zonnique stayed mute while everyone else speculated. Thus far, she's now speaking up, and what she just disclosed is more than just an explanation. It's a full-blown nuclear bombshell from her parents. Shocking involvement to the secret sources of that widely circulated film, T.I. and Tiny, Zonnique is disclosing the reality of what truly happened in private. Was 50 Cent simply waging his usual psychological warfare, or did he finally cross an unbreakable barrier? Every frame of the leak, the secret messages in the captions, and the shocking truth Zonnique wants the world to know are all being scrutinized. Today, if you thought you knew the story, you should think again, because the truth behind the headline is far more true than any rumor you've heard about the timeline. Get ready to discover the unexposed truth about 50 Cent and Zonnique Pullins. To fully understand the significance of Zonnique Pullins' recent exposure, we need to look past the pixels of a viral video and consider the individual's deeply ingrained, often turbulent background. 50 Cent, whose real name is Curtis Jackson, is perhaps the heavyweight champion of digital warfare in the world of hip-hop. But when Zonnique Pullins, the daughter of Tiny Harris and stepdaughter of the fabled T.I. Zonnique, witnessed the highs and lows of her parents' careers as the princess of the family, including the long-standing, often chilly relationship between her father, T.I. and 50 Cent. For those who don't recall, Tip and 50's feud has been going on for over a decade and is founded on egos, King of the South assertions, and subtle social media barbs. Zonnique has always maintained her distance, despite living her entire life in the spotlight. When allegations surfaced that 50 Cent had acquired video or information regarding Zonnique, the industry held its breath. Everyone was aware that if 50 Cent had a card, he would use it to burn down the entire house rather than merely play it. 50 Cent usually targets the heart rather than the head when he attacks someone. He is aware of the best technique to frighten a man like T.I. in the realm of celebrity is to include his family. A suspicious post on a burner account and a repost from 50 Cent himself started it all on a Tuesday night when the internet is normally calm. It started out as a grainy screenshot with the description, "I guess some secrets just can't stay buried in Atlanta." Within minutes, fans were speculating wildly in the comments section about whether it was a film from a backstage encounter or a private talk. By the time the actual leak surfaced on popular blogs, the narrative had already gotten out of hand. The video appeared to show Zonnique conversing with members of 50 Cent's inner circle. In a compromising, or at the very least highly secretive setting, the image was startling because it contradicted the public's perception of Zonnique's brand, which was that she was the quiet one, the one who avoided trouble. Seeing a leak that her father's rival had created with her name on it within 3 hours. The hashtag #ZonNique leak went viral, and every major gossip site began dissecting the video frame by frame. The experts in the comments sections were quick to pass judgment, claiming that Zonnique had been caught or that she was somehow betraying her family's legacy by hanging out with 50 Cent's associates. This was a calculated move. Millions of people had already formed opinions about Zonnique's character by the time she even realized what was happening. And the timing of the leak was just as damaging as the content itself. T.I. and Tiny were already dealing with their own public issues, and this seemed like a calculated attempt to undermine the family at a vulnerable time. People began to assume that the Harris-Pullins camp's total radio silence throughout the first 48 hours was an admission of guilt. Why wasn't T.I. taking to Instagram Live to defend his daughter? And why wasn't Tiny posting cryptic words instead of facts? However, the leak wasn't the end of the story. 50 Cent was waiting for a response, waiting for T.I. to lose it so he could claim another victory in their ongoing verbal sparring. According to people close to Zonnique, the footage had been heavily edited, taken out of context, and used as a pawn in a much larger game of chess. When the public's focus shifted from what was in the leak to how it got out, the story took its most dramatic turn. Zonnique was gathering her receipts while everyone was making fun of her. She wasn't hiding, she was investigating. She knew exactly where that footage came from, who recorded it, and most importantly, how it ended up in 50 Cent's hands. This changed the tone of the situation from celebrity gossip to personal betrayal. The leak was no longer just about going viral. It was about a young woman's trust being betrayed and the extent a powerful mogul would go to humiliate a rival. It was hard to accept that someone in her inner circle might have compromised her privacy in exchange for a favor or a moment of influence from 50 Cent. As we wrap up this first chapter of the story, the scene was set. 50 Cent had the internet laughing. Zonnique's reputation was in danger, and the Harris family was under siege. However, 50 Cent neglected to consider that Zonnique was more than just a victim. She was a witness, and she was going to tell a story that would make the King of Petty the subject of his own nightmare. Zonnique Pullins found herself at a crossroads with the internet in a frenzy and her name being dragged through the mud. For most people, the weight of 50 Cent's smear campaign would be enough to make them delete their accounts and vanish. But Zonnique, who grew up in the music industry, understood something very important. In the digital age, a lie can travel halfway around the world before the truth even puts on its shoes. If she didn't speak up now, the story would be set in stone. When Zonnique finally spoke out, the exposure was more shocking than the leak itself. She clarified that the video wasn't a recent secret meeting or a betrayal of her family's loyalty, but rather that it was taken more than 2 years ago at a professional networking event attended by many artists, producers, and industry insiders. Rather than launching a frantic Instagram Live, she took a calculated approach, working with her team to dissect the leaked footage frame by frame. The shocking exchange that 50 Cent had highlighted was actually a cropped and edited part of a much longer, completely professional conversation. Zonnique showed that the leak was a masterclass in digital gaslighting by presenting the original, unedited version of the evening. She wasn't hiding with the enemy, she was just existing in a room where she had every right to be. The most painful part of Zonnique's exposure was probably when she disclosed how the video ended up in 50 Cent's hands. This is where the story really gets dark. Rather than placing the blame on 50, Zonnique focused on a former associate, someone she had trusted as a member of her extended professional circle. She revealed that this person had been fishing for old content to sell to blogs, looking for anything that could be twisted into a scandal. When 50 Cent's team allegedly learned of the footage, they saw it as the perfect weapon. Zonnique's exposure of this mole sent shockwaves through Atlanta's music scene. It was no longer just about a leak. It was about the terrifying reality that even your closest associates might be recording you, waiting for the right moment to profit from your personal life. Her bravely identifying the source of the betrayal altered public opinion. T.I., who is known for being protective, seemed ready to take the argument from the keyboard to the streets. But Zonnique revealed in her expose that she had to be the one to calm her father down. She clarified that 50 Cent's entire strategy was to provoke a reaction to get T.I. to crash out in public so 50 could play the victim or the winner. The world was watching her parents as Zonnique began outlining the facts and the tension. In the Harris household was obvious. Zonnique's ability to handle the situation more maturely than the veterans involved was a turning point. She shared glimpses of her conversations with her mother, Tiny, who had seen this kind of manipulation many times. And together they came to the conclusion that the best way to expose 50 Cent was not through anger, but rather through cold, hard evidence. By keeping her cool, Zonnique was able to remove the King of Petty. In this section of her disclosure, Zonnique examined why a billionaire tycoon like 50 Cent would spend his time pursuing a young woman who had never spoken poorly of him. She explained that this was due to a combination of boredom and a deep-seated insecurity about his competitors, pointing out that whenever 50 Cent's own business endeavors or shows aren't receiving enough clout, he reverts to his old ways. Picking a fight with a legacy family like the Harrises, Zonnique's actions were not the shocking truth. Rather, it was about 50 Cent's fixation with a rivalry that everyone else had moved on from. She exposed the pattern of 50 Cent's behavior, showing how he uses proxy wars by attacking his enemies' children when he can't get a rise out of the men themselves. This realization drastically altered the social media discourse. Zonnique supplied the last piece of evidence, timestamps and metadata to seal the deal. She showed that the files 50 Cent's associates were sharing had been changed only days before the leak, indicating premeditation and proving that it was a carefully selected hit piece rather than an accidental discovery. As the second chapter of this drama came to an end, the tide had completely turned, with threads praising Zonnique's poise and intelligence taking the place of memes mocking her. However, as everyone knows, 50 Cent does not take a L quietly. So, as Zonnique gained the upper hand and his narrative collapsed, the world waited for the inevitable retaliation. The hunter had become the hunted, and the princess was finally wearing the crown. As the smoke clears, the scene appears to be very different from what 50 Cent had intended. Rather than a damaged reputation for Zonnique Pullins, we are witnessing a significant shift in the public's perception of digital leaks and the motivations of those who disseminate them. Zonnique not only survived the storm, but she also redirected the lightning and the industry as a whole. What will undoubtedly be remembered as one of the most well-planned character assassination attempts in modern hip-hop history, industry heavyweights, who usually stay neutral in these petty wars, began to voice their support for Zonnique, from seasoned rappers to well-known influencers. The consensus was that using manipulated media to target rivals' children was a low blow that went against the unwritten rules of the game. The silence from 50 Cent's camp in the immediate aftermath of Zonnique's massive exposure of the receipts was deafening. Usually, the G-Unit leader is quick with a sarcastic comeback. Prominent figures claim that Zonnique's handling of the situation set a new standard for the younger generation in Hollywood. Instead of engaging in a screaming match on Instagram Live, she used the very tools that 50 Cent weaponizes Logic digital footprints and timing to dismantle him. This was a victory for the Harris family, as well as for anyone who has ever fallen victim to fake news or deepfake-style manipulation. The industry message was clear. The bully tactics of the 2000s are becoming less effective in the age of digital literacy. Marketing experts have observed a slight but significant shift in 50's brand sentiment following this incident, with the general public viewing this move as desperate rather than savage. For 50 Cent, the fallout has been an uncharacteristic L. For years, 50 Cent's brand has been built on being untouchable, the man who can out-troll anyone. But by going after Zonnique, he might have overplayed his hand. In 2026, brands are more sensitive than ever to cyberbullying narratives, and being caught in a coordinated attempt to smear a young woman's name with edited footage isn't exactly brand safe. Zonnique's exposure did more than just clear her name. It removed the mask from the machinery 50 Cent uses to stay relevant, proving that sometimes the boogeyman is just a man with a video editing app and an Axe 2 grievances. One of the most poignant aspects of the post-exposure era was when Tiny and T.I., who have seen their share of public ups and downs, stood like a fortress around Zonnique. In a rare and heartfelt postscript to the drama, T.I. said that he didn't need to step in because he had raised a lioness who could defend herself. Although this experience was traumatic, Zonnique claimed that it gave her a new sense of agency over her own life. She is no longer just the daughter of T.I. Instead, she is a woman who defeated a media mogul. The leak, which was intended to cause internal strife and split the family, actually had the opposite effect, forcing them to communicate, align their public fronts, and demonstrate to the world that, despite the headlines, they are a unit. What does the Zonnique versus 50 Cent viral leak mean in the long run? It's a warning for the digital age. A reminder that we shouldn't believe everything we see in a 15-second clip, and that the truth often requires a much deeper dive than a trending hashtag. Since then, Zonnique has hinted at launching a series or platform dedicated to helping other young artists navigate digital crises and protect their privacy and intellectual property. The shocking truth that was promised in the headlines turned out to be a lesson in resilience. 50 Cent tried to write a script where Zonnique was the villain, but she took the pen and rewrote herself as the hero. The viral leak that was intended to expose Zonnique ended up exposing the dark underbelly of clout culture and the lengths people will go to for a moment of internet dominance. The days of the uncontested bully are clearly over as we wrap up this thorough analysis. By revealing the behind-the-scenes of that viral leak, Zonnique Pullins not only saved her own career, but also set an example for all other celebrities on how to fight digital manipulation. 50 Cent may still be the king of petty, but Zonnique Pullins proved that truth is a far more potent weapon than clout. The next time you see a shocking leak on your timeline, remember that behind every viral clip is a human being, a family, and a story that a 15-second video can never fully tell. Which side are you on after viewing the receipts that Zonnique made public? Do you believe that 50 Cent went too far this time, or is this just part of the rap game? The truth is finally out, but the conversation is only getting started. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the comments. If you enjoyed this in-depth look at the biggest scandal in the industry, please hit the like button to help the channel reach more people. If you want to stay ahead of the curve with more celebrity exposes and untold stories, hit the subscribe button and turn on those post notifications so you don't miss what we have coming up.